Oh my God, it's been how have you? Oh, okay. Before we get into all that, it's been a minute, so let's see if I can remember how this goes, folks. This week I have got comics that are based on Indonesian folklore. I've got a comic that is a mech manga anime influenced romp named after a sneaker. I have got a comic that is about one of our favorite speedsters, but different. I've also got a comic about a card game with demons, deities, sorcerers, and a woman named Hudson. I've also got novels. Yeah. So, folks, let's get into it. This is Hungry Bleek Show. Oof, it feels good to be back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to, I'd like to say another, but it's been a minute. I haven't been here for a while, so let's try this again. Welcome once again, everyone, to the Hungry Bleek Show. I am your host, Antonio Pomares, aka the Hungry Bleek, the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you want. How have you all been? Let's get this out of the way because, my God, it's been such a long time since I've seen you one on one. We have these conversations. How are you? How's work? I know. They be doing things like that, but look, you do what you got to do until you get to be where you want to be. All right. How are the loved ones? I know. Yeah, that sometimes like that. Sometimes like that. Have you been? How's your health? Spring's coming up. You getting no steps in, getting your walks? You worried about? Hey, whoa. Look, some are gonna get whatever body you got because every body is a summer body. You feel me? Okay. So, how have you all been? You'll notice, yes, I have taken upon the mantle of goatee again. Yes, there's even more silver here than it was before. I don't know why I keep doing this. I put that down. That I apologize. I didn't mean to put out. Sorry, I did it again. I apologize. You know, so there's a nice logo that I made up here in the corner here. I hate how this is all backwards. There we go. Here, cool little thing, right? So I have been with Jabba, Robert, and Michael over at TBA News, and I have been enjoying it. We're having a great time. But I had to come back here to do this because there are things that I want to talk about and want to say, and comics that I want to really get into. And sometimes those shows don't allow it because I have these incredible co-hosts and I want them to speak too. Sometimes, I want to be like, hey, this is what I like, and I want to do that. And there's so many comics out there. There's not enough time. Um, but we're gonna make some time tonight. And henceforth, am I at night now? The hell broke that line? So, um, furthermore, that's not any better. Actually, that's not any better. So from here on out, Friday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want you to make some time for me here. Let's make some time for us because this is where it's going to be at for comics. All right. So first, I want to say hello to YouTube, hello to Twitch, and hello to Instagram, IG. Yes, I have not had the best relationship doing lives on IG, but I want to start getting into it. I want to do it more. I want to just have that platform as well. May go back to Facebook. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of Facebook, but what have you. Thank you, Mechanical Pencils. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's start this right up because there's a lot out here. There's a lot to say. The world is different since I was last on the air doing the Hungry Bleek Show. Y'all know I got a mouth that can sometimes get me into trouble or what have you. But let's get it on. Let's get it popping. Let's start with Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter I want to speak about today, obviously, is one that's very cool to me. It is a Kickstarter called Fumes. Excuse me. This is from Emmetropia Comics. Fumes is an adaptation of a short story in the anthology series of Quirky Black Sci-Fi Tales from M-Shy-S Dash. This is a cli-fi thriller. I absolutely love that damn term. I really do love it. In the words, this is a near future cli-fi saga. A gritty heroine wages war against global conspirators looking to privatize our air. See, I'm not a good reader out loud. Never worked out. Hated it in school. Wasn't my thing. Don't know why I'm giving you hand gestures while I'm speaking. I'm gonna stop. I apologize. So this is live because we're live. So at this point we are at they are at $3,103 on a goal of $4,200. Get this going. If you enjoy militaristic type of things, thrillers, sci-fi and cli-fi, which is like a climate fiction where things we're actually not living. It's not fiction. We're actually living through it. Anything has to do with climate and environmental stories like that, where there's something happening, whether it's the seas are the ice caps are melting, so seas are rising, or whether it's like the greenhouse effect, anything like that and there's a huge catastrophe because of it. That's what that type of genre is. I reading a short story, I was like, this is so cool, and seeing the passion that's being put in, because M-Shy has also enlisted the help of Greg Burnham of Tuskegee Airs. All know this cat has written Superman, so yeah, obviously one of the nicest people out there, truly, and one of the best creatives out there as well. Absolutely love the work that he does. So I have no doubt that M-Shy alone was a selling point for this, but then having an incredible team to be a part of this book, outstanding. Love it. Have until May 18th for it. So like I always say, folks, look, if you can put towards it, there are plenty of different tiers for you. Put towards it. It does not come out on the day you pledge. It doesn't come out until the project is completely funded and it's on that last day. That's when it comes out. So if you pledge today, you have time. So don't think, oh man, I'd love to do this, but I can't put anything on it. You have time. If your pockets are absolutely to the max, and I understand that in this day and age, how much are eggs? Really? And everything that's happening in our world, unfortunately, I totally understand. So if you're not able to, at least please go click on the link for Fumes that's in the episode description and share this out there. I truly believe in this project because I believe in M-Shy. M-Shy is one of the coolest people out there and one of my favorite writers and creatives out there. So if she's doing something like this, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to check this out. Excuse me. I definitely want to let them know that, this project is out there. We need to really show what's going on. Hey, BTN, good evening. Hope you're having a very well Friday. Thank you very much for joining. And that's what's up. Emmetropia Comics is a comic company that's going to be sharing these stories from Quirky Black Sci-Fi Tales, volumes 1 and 2. So this is their page. I believe I have this page also in the episode description. We can read about what's happening with them. This is the beginning. This is the ground floor. This is the starting point for them. Yes, I truly see another company be started out there. Black-owned company, Black woman. Yes, absolutely. Let's go. Let's get it. So Fumes still out there. Kickstarter, check it out. But also go check out the Emmetropia page. This is dope, and I'm all for this. M-Shy, you are going to get it, and I believe in you. All right, so Kickstarters. Just one that was really hot that I really want to talk about because I lose track of Kickstarters. I'm going to be honest with you. I completely and totally lose track of Kickstarters, but I have a couple of comics now that were Kickstarter comics that I'm so glad that I did put in for because stories are dope, everything. Why am I talking? Let's just get into the comic reviews. Let's go with, first we got Air Force Ones. This is out of Wingless Entertainment. So if you love manga, and mechs and anime, you're going to love Air Force Ones. Now we all know that Air Force One, sometimes, you say somebody got Air Force One's energy. That's what this basically is. And the energy in this comic is dope as hell. Basically, we have a young man named Nas, who, yes, I know, and their full name is Nazir. Actually, you know what? Let me actually give you the story of this, written and showing you from Wingless Entertainment, and I'll read it word for word for you. So, in a distant future, long after the fires of the Exodus War have subsided, tensions remain high between the floating islands of Elysia and Lower Earth. Elysia took victory and maintained their military superiority with robotic battle mechs of immense power called Gears. Lower Earth receives a beacon of hope when the young cadet Nazir, yes, Nas Williams, that is, if I had a son, I wouldn't actually name him Nas or Nazir. That is a damn nice name. William stumbles across the legendary MAD, Mobile Armored Deploy Gear, call sign Yasuke. But if Nas is going to end the tyranny of Elysia, he'll need his crew with him. He'll need the band of unlikely heroes called Air Force Ones. Yeah, that's the story of this. If you love anime, mechs, manga, which I did as a kid, well, I loved the anime part. I didn't have mechs or, excuse me. Oh, yeah, definitely didn't have mechs. I didn't have manga as a kid. But this is a comic that it just really hits the point. First off, let me go. Story, script, Brian J. Lambert. Edits are Brett Hillesheim. Art is Iqbal Prestano. Hope I'm pronouncing your name. If I'm butchering it, I apologize. Colors are Victor Akanaye. Letters are Rune Makers. Cover art is Eduardo Souza. And cover colors, Nestor Redula Jr. The story, I love the story of Nasir trying to figure things out, just being a young man, young black man as well. And in this world where there's almost like a class system, where there literally is Elysia and then there's lower. If you say, oh, lower, or you already feel like you're less than because they're telling you you're lower. But then seeing him having these dreams, waking up, which I've woken up like that a couple of times. Actually, not with those abs. I haven't woken up with abs like that. I've woken up with like maybe 3 or 4 abs. Actually, it's real bad if you only got an odd number of abs. That's odd to begin with. But then having him be this young man, trying to figure out life, just being young and black and in this lower earth, this impoverished way, and then having to go out and do your thing. You have your friends with you. Obviously, you got your crew, and then finding out that you find this mech and you're able to change things. You're able to better things for you, your family, your friends, your whole area, your whole neighborhood. I love that fact. The colors are so bold. Lower Earth feels very earthy because of the tones that they've used, which I do love. I absolutely love that feeling. It felt very enriching, almost like I'd rather be on Lower Earth because of that connection to Earth. But then you have the Elysia stage where you have more of the militaristic feeling. Very, when I was looking at the their looks and everything, I was feeling like it was very much like Gundam, where they would have like the officers, or Macross, feeling very much like they have the officers, everything, even a little bit of the Captain Harlock, feeling like that, which I love. It felt like something, again, that I would be watching on Saturday morning or late night on TBS or Toonami or Midnight Run, which I love that feel to it. The colors here are very bold, very clean, because the uniform's pristine, but I love how that almost like distinguishes themselves between Lower Earth, which feels very more earthy, very much more literally down to earth, where the other ones are always clean, always pristine, because you have a military outfit. Got to be correct. Got to be squared away. Got to know how many buttons are on your uniform and everything. I know. Don't ask me. And even seeing the mechs again, love bold, brightly colored mechs. I love when mechs have different colors to differentiate who they are, and we get that with these mechs. I cared. Here's my scale that I have for when I review comics. It's called the Pomara Scale, working title. Basically, it's I get past is it new recency bias? Can I get past that? Am I intrigued by the characters in the world? If I'm intrigued, am I invested? If I'm invested, do I care? This ticked all four boxes. If a comic does not tick one of those boxes, I stop reading it at that point and I walk off. There's no point for me to even keep reading. This definitely did. When we have the academy and seeing his friends, and even the way the art comes up, which I absolutely love. It's beautiful, bold, bright. Um, it also has a youthful energy to it, if that makes any sense, you know. And just seeing like the camaraderie, and I love seeing I love purple, obviously, so I'm loving that. If I had hair, I probably would have like a little bit of probably have like a purple streak in my hair, aside from the gray that would be in there as well. Um, and then I just really enjoyed the story, and it was fun. It took me out of my day because I wasn't having the best day, and it took me out of it, which I love. So I want to keep going with this now. What Brian did, which was great, is I want to say it was last week or the week before. For anyone who pledged to the Air Force One's Kickstarter, he actually released the second issue, and I was like, "Oh, wait, hold on, wait, what?" So I ran to my. Well, I didn't run because I was on my phone. I didn't, you don't have to run to your phone if you get it in your hand. It's like it's an actual mailbox where you're running to it. But anyway, so I looked and I was like, bet. So I pulled up and I was like, okay. So now that means I get to reread Air Force One, #1, and then I get to read Volume 2, which is awesome. And I love that feeling. So if this is something that you're down for, I want you to go and I want you to check out, like I said, the website, Wingless Entertainment Limited. I have the link in the episode description, as always, folks. And I want you to go and check it out. I want you to check out everything that they have on it too, because this is part of their black label for their comics, which I love that they have a black and a gold label. And the black label is going to be more of their anime manga inspired stories. And they're going to have some coming up in 2025 with Blam, which is black label anthology manga. An anthology manga. I like that. That's going to be featuring titles like Formula X1s. Could that be okay? Magnificent and much more. I'm totally down with that, and I'm waiting for the Kickstarter for that as well. Or if you do it just straight out, I'm going to be down for it. So yes, please go pick up Air Force Ones. Go to the website, order it. I believe it's available to be ordered now. Definitely worth it. Go and check it out, folks. You don't want to miss that one. Now, speaking of comics you may miss because they're so fast, segue, is Absolute Flash. So this is part of the Absolute line of comics that have been coming out for DC. They started with Absolute Batman, I want to say was the first one. But now we have Absolute Superman, it's Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Flash, I think was the fourth one. It's Absolute Martian Manhunter, and there's another one coming out. I think I just bought it actually. There was another one, but I can't remember what it is. So this is Absolute Flash. So basically the stories are what would happen if it's similar. This is DC's version or answer to the Ultimate Universe. Same characters that you know, but in different worlds, different aspects of themselves, different circumstances. A lot of them actually tend to be what would happen if they didn't have their families there or whoever was their mentor there to guide them. The other one is Absolute Green Lantern, which was breathtaking, very much like a horror. If you want to check out a review on that, go check out TBA News, same channel. Robert Jeffrey and I reviewed a couple of comics and we both talked about that one. Go check it after this. Go check it out. After you watch this, go check it out. I don't know what the hand signals. I'm just giving you what I got, and I appreciate you. Thank you. So basically, this is the speedster story. But what would happen if you didn't have your mentor? You didn't have any family as well. That's what this is. So this is part one, let's say. So this is our writer is Jeff Lemire. We've got art and cover is Nick Robles. Colors, excuse me, there's Adriano Lucas, and letters are Tom Napoliato. I don't know why Napoliato. I don't know why it sounds weird coming out of my mouth. So we actually have to go 2 days in the past to see the story of what's happening. I really enjoyed this because I like the ultimate line of comics, and I like the new Ultimate line of comics. The only one I'm reading though is Black Panther because Brian D. Hill is dastardly. Um, so they're on like so this is Barry, and he's on different. His father is a scientist, and he goes to and he basically lives on. He's lived from army base to army base to army base to army base. Never had any friends because his father won't let him go out. No, excuse me. His father is a is in the army, so they go from base to base to base to base to base. The only friend he really has is a scientist, and he wants to check out what's going on. And he has like this whole room full of apes in these bubbles. We know what that's going to be because apes and Flash mean Grodd eventually, but we'll get there when we get there, what have you. Um, so his father comes in. And he's like, "Look, I told you you're not supposed to be here. This is security, military, everything. You shouldn't be in here." Gets angry, and Barry doesn't know what to do. He's always trying to figure out what's going on with everything because he just wants to be a kid and enjoy himself, but he doesn't have any friends. Then all of a sudden, you see this huge boomerang come through, and it's actually Barry's rogues, his rogue gallery. You'll see Captain Boomerang, you'll see Captain Cold, like the usual group, but they're more like hunters, and they're kind of after Barry to see what he can do, what he can't do. They want to grab him up. I love the fact that I'm getting in on the beginning of a story about a character that we've known for decades, but different. I've always loved stories like that, especially with speedsters. For some reason, speedsters interest me, but their stories have so much but they have so much backstory that I don't really get into it. That's why I loved Excel from Catalyst Prime because it was a speedster that I was getting right on the ground floor of. So I really enjoyed this, and I want to see where this is going. I also love the art is again bright bold. We know right off the bat orange. I think there's going to be something with the excuse me with the yellow though because we all know that that's more Zoom or Professor Zoom. We'll see what's going to happen, or reverse flash, what have you. But I'm excited by this. I like the the absolute line, and also this cover just feels like speed. It feels like just hot fire speed, and I'm down for it. So yes, if you can go and check out. I did not show you any of that. I am so sorry, folks. Good God, I am getting in the back in the review of things, but you can see the art. I'll show you some of it now. I love how the art feels. Y'all know how I like kinetic feeling things. That's how it feels, especially when you have a scene like this with all of that energy there and knowing how much energy flashes can put out. But yeah, I'll show you the picture. So that's going to be his rogues gallery. You know that obviously Boomerang, Cold, all of them there. And I want to know how they're going to fit into what ends up happening to Barry later on. And him getting powers, and there's a bit of a time distortion thing there too, which I do want to check out and see where that goes. The new suit, I'm gonna give or take it because you know what? Sometimes you don't know until you know. And it's hard to come up with a new suit for such an iconic character. That's very difficult. I know. So my bygones. But yes, Flash is definitely one that I would pick up. Check it out. It is fun and awesome. And yeah, like I said, I had a fun time reading it. So this next one is another Kickstarter comic. This is Bandits of Batavia. Hope I'm saying that properly. By Beyond Topia. So, like I said, I had a bunch of comics that I didn't even realize I had. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got this comic, got this comic. I was like, damn, I got to read these. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So this one is really awesome because it felt like a mix of Zorro and Warrior. The series that was on HBO was on started on Cinemax and it was on Max, what have you. Because it has like different gangs of bandits, and you have this kind of like a masked hero, anti-hero if you want even going through it. This is based on folklore from Indonesia, which I don't know that. I don't think I have any knowledge of Indonesia very much, except for some martial arts films. But this comic definitely gets me into it. Absolutely. This just the cover. First off, I need y'all to make a shirt with the character of just give me everything with this. They even give you a map of uh to Batavia, and they give you like a little insert of the people that live on the outside of the town and the people that live in the center of the town, so you get a better idea of it. This was created by Brian Valenza. I love the art. It's just God, it's just beautiful. This is book one is Wildfire. This is chapter 1 of 6, Justice and Revenge. This is kind of a revenge story of a young boy whose family was killed in a fire, and he wants to go after these gangs and everything. But there's also a supernatural kind of mystical vibe there to it as well. You know what? Actually, give me a mix of Zorro, Warrior, and I'm trying to think. There's another one that's out there that I know has the same kind of flavor to it. Okay, so story and colors are from Brian Valencia. Co-writer is Henry Barajas. Art is Ario Muerti. Lettered by Troy Pateri. Cover is also by Ario. And the map is from Osata Siapa. Hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. If I'm not, I apologize. Bloody variant cover is from Tyler Kirk, but I think we've talked about Tyler before on the show. Awesome. Manga variant cover. Wait. There was a manga variant cover. You know what? Let me find out. I'm gonna have to go to the website and check this out. So yeah, this was just y'all know how I feel about like I just was speaking about kinetic um art, how I should be able to feel someone running past me, before I should be able to feel the movements of everything. I should be able to feel a punch coming at me, the force and the speed, even if it goes by my face. That's how I felt about this, especially with the martial arts aspect. So this story takes place like 1875, and we see the character of I believe it was Black Bull is their name. Is this kind of vigilante hero, anti-hero character running through. So right off the bat, character comes off, cuts someone's head off, one of the guards, but the head continues to talk. There's something there. I'm not sure yet. They haven't really gotten into it, but I want to find out more. The Kickstarter for next issue should be in the next month or so, hopefully. So cross my fingers. I want to know more about that. And it actually tells him about the gang that he's after, the gang that this bodyguard was a part of. And just goes into fight, and it goes up against different bandits. Obviously, bandits as an title, to find these different leaders because he's looking for something, and it all has to do with the story of revenge and taking down these bandits that have been, just marauding the land for so long. And it just has, yeah, like I said, it took me out because it was new recency bias. Okay, yes. Was I intrigued? Yes. What is this world? I don't know very much about Indonesia, so that interested me as well. The martial arts. Why are you seeking revenge so heavily? Why can you make this person's head talk even after they've been dead? How does that work? I was invested in that because I wanted to know what happened. There's a certain point out during this big fight, which you'll see, and he's going up against this character called Sumatran Tiger. Sumatran Tiger. Excuse me, Sumatran Tiger. He gets injured when he's laying down, when he's resting in bed after the night. He starts to heal, but not completely. And he says, like, normally I heal completely. So I'm invested in that. Why can you heal completely? And at this point, why aren't you healing completely? And I cared because I'm like, I care about when you see him in the fire. He starts to have a flashback during this fight of his family and the fire that killed them and how he was holding them while they were dead and inflamed. Why? How does that happen? How are you able to hold them in the fire too and you're okay? What does that mean? So that brought it right back to it being cool to me, and I loved it. You feel the impact. The art gives you that feeling of every impact, every kick, every blade that goes by. You feel it, and I absolutely love it. So, like I said, this is from this company called Beyond Topia. This is, I think, the only comic they have out just yet. But if you go to their website, like I am showing you here, I mean, they're giving you more of what's going on. They give you updates. They're telling you about the universe that they have. You can see some of the other titles that they're going to be coming up with. And I am down with every single bit of piece that you've got. They've even got like profiles of different people in the company, which I do love as well. When you do something like that, I love having that. I would love to have more of what is happening here. If y'all happen to see this, I am down to check out this comic because it is absolutely beautiful. Painstaking from the art to the actual Prince of Apes. Wait, hold on. Did I just see? Yo, y'all, Stockholm. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely down with whatever y'all got going on. And again, I love the fact that it's a culture that I am not familiar with, being Indonesian culture. Between the martial arts, the map, the area, the locale, and everything, I'm invested. I'm into this. So yes, please. This was an impulse buy as far as being a Kickstarter. I just happened to see the picture. I was like, oh damn. Then I looked at it, saw some of it. I said, yeah, this is one that I got to check out. So yes, if you're able to, go to the site, and I want you to check out Bandits of Batavia from Beyondtopia. It's a comic that just hit me kind of hard, and I like when comics hit me hard because I read a lot, and some things bore me to tears. This did not bore me to tears at all. So, speaking of tears, nothing worse than being an AC and seeing someone lose their shirt because they've been gambling. Speaking of gambling, there was a new comic called Arcana Royale. I don't care if that segue was bad. You know what you came here for. Bad segues, um, silver hair, and me saying stuff that don't make no sense, and reviewing comics because I'm there. So, whatever. So this is Arcana Royale. This is out of Dark Horse Comics. The cover, first off, is just so alarming and cool. I absolutely love that. That's just awesome to me. So, script is from Cullen Bunn. Art is AC Zamadio. Colors are Bill Cabrice. Letters are Joshua Reed, and cover is also from AC. Basically, this is a story of Hudson. Hudson is a gambler. Hudson is a card shark. Hudson loves the excitement of the bet, of the game, of what's of not knowing what's going to happen, but putting her skills up against the unknown. So basically, what happens is she gets into a big game, um, uh, card game with some of the supernatural best. You have deities, you have demons, you have sorcerers, sorceresses, all these people, and they play a game of cards, but it's with a very special deck of tarot cards, and they're able to bet. But when they bet, they're not just betting like money or whatever; they're actually betting souls and lives. I found that to be completely interesting. Also, the fact is Cullen Bunn. Trust Cullen Bunn with something like this. I love the idea of being able to of betting like that in a card game, and it being with all these other beings from supernatural lore and everything. I also love the fact that Hudson is kind of a devil may care, obviously because they're a gambler. So being very devil may care, just doing whatever's there and going into it. And you start to find out why she's in the game. It's this group put her up to it. They want her to go into the game and to win. But she's warned outside that you have to be careful. You're human. You have to be careful playing this game with these deities and demons and demigods and sorcerers and sorceresses because they're going to get mad if you win because you're just human, and they're going to come after you. So obviously, gambler, I'm going to not just gamble at the table. I'm going to gamble with my life, and that's what ends up happening. And they begin to teach her how to play the game and what to do, what not to do. I found this incredibly interesting the the game of gambling. I've never been into gamble. I've been to AC a few times. I've gambled once in AC. I put my money down. I put $5 out on the table. Came back, like after it's done, and I won five more. So I won $10. Took my $10 and I left. How many people can say they've been to AC their first time gambling and they doubled their money and then left? 1-0 AC. 1-0. I'm good, thank you. I went to the went to the little I think I it was a while ago. I think I went to the window, got my $10. I was like, thank you. Went up, put it in my pocket. I'm good. That was it. I'm totally cool with that. But I love like any type of heist or gambling movie too. I love them those movies where this person's putting their skills up to chance. Because yeah, you can count cards, you can do whatever, but it's still a luck of the draw a lot of times. It is. It truly is. Whether you bluff, whether you fold, whether you call, whatever it is. And that's what was very interesting to me about the title. And again, like I said, Cullen Bunn, I would trust him with this type of work, and I absolutely loved it. And the way they describe the world of anything can happen. What you're seeing, you might not be seeing the supernatural side of it as well. You might not be seeing, if you're seeing someone lying in a hospital bed and they're fighting for life, you might not see the angel or the demon that's taking their soul out of their body. If you're making love, you may not see that the other person is some type of supernatural being that might be taking your soul or is enriching it or is feeding off of your energy, like a succubus or something like that. You might not see those things. That's what made this so very interesting to me. And also the fact that they're playing with tarot cards, I thought was awesome. I like that little supernatural aspect of it as well. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So yes, this was a very much a fun one for me. Excuse me. So I would definitely recommend, and I did not show you, I really thought I hit the button again. I'll be damned if I'm not the rustiest ass person in the world. So yeah, I'll show you this again. So yeah, that's the cover for Arcana Royale, like I said. And her playing with these different beings, you know that something's going to happen. That because they can do things that she can't see, she's not privy to, even with all her training. But even with that, she's still gambling. Like, even though you've got all this powers or what have you, I'm gambling that I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to take everything that's on the table, and you're not going to be able to lay a hand on me. To be a gambler, you got to have a lot of bravado, you got to have a lot of confidence, and you have to be able to read people very well. So even her being able to read people, but then also being able to read demigod, demon, deities, what have you, is very interesting to me. I like the fact that it's a woman too. I like the fact that it's a woman being so confident and cavalier and devil may cry, no pun intended. Although the anime was great, and I've loved the game for years. I think it was great. At the end of the issue, unfortunately, because she's been so devil may cry, she ends up getting her ass handed to her by a couple of sorcerers and I think a couple of demons, and they leave her laying. So it's similar to how you would see in a movie or such like that when if a card shark goes to some type of country town, takes everybody's money, then they find out, oh, you might have been cheating or something like that. We're going to get your ass. And they weren't cheating. They're just really good. When that person comes outside, they beat the hell out of them and they go, now don't come around here anymore. So it had that kind of feeling to it, which I love. So yeah, Arcana Royale, definitely a read for me. It's going to be 4 issues, I believe. But I'm going to stick with the story because I like it and I think it was awesome. So yabba dabba do. I don't know why I said yabba dabba do. I totally apologize for that. Anyway, so that was it for the comic book reviews. But Flashback Friday picks, I have actually 2 of them because, excuse me, I've been doing something a little bit different. I've gotten into novels. Yes, novels. I have been into things that don't have pictures. That's how mature I am. But I've been doing a lot of audiobooks. Audiobooks have really been helping me out. With that, I love it. I love listening to it while I'm on my walk. Or if I'm at work and I have time, I'll put my earbuds in, my iPod. Guess I'll using an iPod, bite me. Excuse me. Actually, no. My audiobooks is actually on my phone. So still not very mature, and I apologize for that. And I've done it, and I've gotten, I think, through 4 books. I think I've gotten through so far. Yeah. So first one I've gotten through is Ellendale. This is from Andrea Rose Washington, which is great. So this book came out a couple years ago. I obviously didn't read it then. I'm reading it now. This is Andrea's website because she's an incredible author. Ellendale, the thing about this book that got me is, first off, the covers. The covers are just beautiful covers. Jesus Christ. And this is like, sci-fi tale about a young woman who finds out that her mother is this world-renowned general on this other planet, and that she's half alien. Story was very obviously fast forward because she goes to the planet, she meets the royal family, she finds out that she's like betrothed to someone, and it's this whole big story of that. Um, but then at a certain point, it's still this fantasy sci-fi story about this young woman, but after the big event in the story and in the wreckage, it becomes the book switched for me, and it became this war story. Um, just because of the imagery that I got when I was listening to the book, the wreckage of the palace and of the kingdom and everything after this huge cataclysmic event, and it's it becomes her moment of, well, how do we go back at them? It felt like almost a resistance story during the war. Like when I grew up watching a lot of westerns and a lot of like war movies, like World War II, Korean War, things like that, because of my mother and my father. Um, so that was the feeling that I got, and it became, like I said, it was, first off, it was this very um very fantasy sci-fi driven story, which I was really enjoying digging. I'm like, okay, cool, because we don't usually get, it's a young black woman who is related to the this intergalactic royalty, or this intergalactic person who's well known, this hero, this this figure of status normally is. So that's what got me into it also. But then when it becomes this war story, and you're like, how the hell is she going to get out of this? She's been trained and everything now, but now she has to really put forth, and she has to put it all together. It just really hit me. So when we got to that point, I became so even more invested, because I was intrigued even more now by this world. First of all, I was intrigued by the world literally because it was a different planet. Then I was invested because I want to see how is she going to react with her mother, who she hasn't been around, because her mother's been in space on this other planet, being a general. How is she going to be seen? And then I started to care, because what's going to happen to her, this young woman on this planet with these people who she does not know. She does not know them from anyone, even if they're saying, and that ends up tying into it as well, because someone does end up becoming a traitor. So it does have that feel. And then it was like, yes, comes this war story. I'm here for it. Give it to me. So yes, Ellendale is definitely a read. Andrea Rose Washington kind of took me on a journey, then threw me out the car and made me walk even more for this other journey, which I truly enjoyed. So yes, Ellendale, definitely want to check out. Absolutely loved it. Go check out our website. I have, like I said, I have the link for the website. It's in the bio. Excuse me, in the episode description. Check it out. Now the next one is Order of the Seers. Yes, that's another one that I've got on audiobooks on Audible. And this is from Cerise Rennie Murphy. Just awesome story. So basically, Order of the Seers is about this brother and sister, and they're being hunted because the sister is a seer. She has these abilities, uh, and there is this order called. Let me see if I can actually bring the actual book up. There's this group, this sect. I don't know if I would call it a sector. I'm not sure what I would actually call it. Who are chasing her because they want her to be a part of whatever they're doing. Yes, so here we go. Do-do-do-do-do-do. And it becomes almost like this road trip story about them running. Because it's Marcus and it's with there's this guild, and they're running from them because they don't know anything about it. They didn't even know that the sister was a seer. They had no idea. You know what I mean? And Lily is a seer, and Liam is her older brother. Liam, to protect his sister, begins to train in firearms, martial arts, everything he can possibly do, survival, everything, to protect her. And she begins to use her powers and develop them and figuring them out. All this while being hunted by the order. um, who have their own seers, hence the title Order of the Seers, um, and who give them this drug, which makes them very compliant and makes them almost like slaves. So they'll do what they want to do. It's a story that spans not just it's a sci-fi adventure rom. Like I said, it has like almost like this road trip kind of quality to it, but it also is a story where it shows you about it's just these young people trying to figure out who they are and having this drug, and you're not able to explore who you are as a person, mentally or physically. You're not even able to explore your own personality or your own sexuality. So when the drug begins to wear off, they begin to feel things, different things, and they need to explore that. A couple of the characters actually are exploring love. How does that feel? They're also exploring sexuality. How does that feel? I don't know what this is, which is very interesting to me. Characters exploring that part of themselves and that verge and those burgeoning energies, especially if you're younger, those burgeoning energies of sexuality are potent. They are strong. And then to have these powers. So it was a great combination of these powers being so strong, but then this heightened um, uh, sense of self and exploration and wonder and curiosity about yourselves is great. But also having this kind of really action filled story as well, not just between the seers, but also when it's Liam's time to show out and he shows all the training and everything and how he can flip it on a dime and become so cold and calculating and analytical, and this machine of being able to slit someone's throat and just walk off easy because that's what they had to do to protect his sister Lillian. um yeah, this was definitely fun. Great rom. I was not expecting what I got from the story, which I love. I expect when I love when I'm reading a story and I don't get it, and I don't get what I thought I was going to get when I'm not expecting it. So that's why a lot of times stories I'll just go in with, okay, my mind is just whatever. What what are you going to give me? I was intrigued by the story of the brother and sister. I wanted to see, and these seers. What are their? How far can their powers go? Um, what does it feel like to have that ability, and how they're two different people, where he always feels like he has to protect her even though she's technically the more powerful of the two because she has these powers of being a seer. I was invested because I began to really care about these two kids and I wanted to see them avoid the order, and they find this community and they become a part of it. I began to care because I hope they get out of this okay. I want them to find love. I want them to be um, happy. I don't want them to be running for the rest of their lives. I want them to just be able to have moments where they can just breathe and be and live and not have to look over their shoulders. So yeah, this was definitely a fun one for me and very in-depth story. So Order of the Seers, Cerise Rainey Murphy. So another one, go check it out. Link for the website is there as well. So that was a lot of reviews. That was a lot, I admit, but we all know, folks, it's Friday. Let me hit you. How are you doing? Are you okay? Did you eat? Did you drink water? Did you take your medicine, whether it's for a mental or physical ailment or emotional ailment? I'm not trying to police you. I just want to make sure that you're the best that you can be. It's very important, okay? Especially in this age, in this time when we are in this America where you never know what's going to happen from one minute to the next. I want your mind and your body to both be at the best they can be so you can do what you got to do to protect you and yours. Something I've taken up a lot doing recently is stretching. I stretched so hard the other day. I heard a pop at the door. I thought like Thanos was knocking at my door. I thought it was Fisk and his anti-vigilante squad were knocking at my door. I popped and it felt so good. So I pop. I I pop. So I stretch regularly. I'll spend 20 to 30 minutes stretching. and it feels good. I'll stretch. I'll do some light exercises while I'm actually doing stretching, just some lifting, just some things to get more mobility. My shoulder's been bothering me a little bit because of push-ups and everything. So that, but also flexibility, stretching out my legs, especially I have short legs, but they're kind of thick. Short legs. I don't know why I said short legs again. Stretching out my legs, my back, especially when you get older. And my job is physical, so I'm lifting a lot as well. So my back, I'm very careful about my back, so I want to stretch that out, make sure it's good. Sometimes if something pops, I'm happy. If I hear something crack, I'll be I'll be scared. But if I hear something pop, it's a good sign. But it's also very cleansing mentally. It makes me relaxed. I breathe very deeply, and I can feel my muscles relaxing, which makes the stretching easier and more fulfilling. So I definitely recommend stretching. I think that's one of the best things you could possibly do is stretch until you can't take it anymore, and then stretch some more. Like I said, I'm doing it for 20, 30 minutes. I stretch. I do a couple of yoga poses. I'm not into yoga, but I know a couple of yoga poses that have helped my back, my core. Also trying to get into a little better shape. I want to be a little more toned, slender. I also want to look good naked. I'm gonna be honest with you. I also want to look good naked. I don't know what to tell you. Superficial, but I'm also worried about the mechanics of my body, how I feel. But yes, both. I want to look good, booty but bone naked, but I also want to feel good, and I want to have full mobility and to be able to move properly to do what I have to do in my life, whether at work or if I'm just having fun or walking around. I just want to be able to feel good, obviously. So yeah, stretch. I strongly recommend stretching. So the bleak perspective. Yes, I'm going to give you a quick one. It's about freedom. So I watched Sinners last Saturday. Phenomenal movie, beautiful, and it brought up the idea of freedom. One of the interviewers was interviewing three of the cast members, and she actually asked them, "Do you feel free?" Or something like that. She asked him, do you feel free, or do you think you're free?" And it made me go, in this day and age, in this America, are we free? Is there freedom? And it's hard to answer that question because it seems like freedoms are being taken every 5 minutes. Just because you're not in a cell somewhere or something like, or being chained down somewhere doesn't mean you're all the way free. Because if one person's not free, then all of us, then none of us are free. Because it means that anyone's freedom can be taken in any way, shape, or form at any moment. And that's scary. That's a scary thing. It is scary. So we've got ICE running around, we've got police running around, we have the rights of everyone being taken away at a moment's notice. And in a way, we're being held hostage in our own country, because if you leave, you might not be able to get back in a proper way because they're so strict on letting people back in and kicking people out. A friend of mine wanted to go with her family out of the country. She wanted to take her kids and her mother out of the country. And she was like, "I'm afraid because I don't know if we'll be able to get back in." And that's where we're at. I can walk out my door. I can go down the street. I can do this, do that. I can walk in any entrance of a building I want. Well, not any entrance, but there's not like like colored and whites only entrances. But there are still freedoms that are being taken away just because this person is in office and they think that they can do whatever they want. And it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. So the freedom that you have, protect it. The freedom that you have, use it. The freedom that you have, be thankful for it. The freedom that you have, use it if you can to give someone else freedom. They have deported people who have done nothing but breathe, who have done nothing but they may not have been born here. Actually, even people who have been born here, I think that they've just deported. It's a very tricky time to be here, regardless of your skin color. It is a very tricky time to be here because you could, well, actually, I shouldn't say because of your skin color. But just if you're a marginalized person, whether because of who you love, who you lay down with, or what skin shade is, or what gender you are, or what gender you're transitioning into being, or what gender you're not, it's a scary time. Be careful, be safe, but don't let them take away the freedom that you have to be you, because that is so very important. You are you. What is it that they were saying? You are one of one. That's what they say. Don't let them take away the freedom that you have to be yourself, to be the authentic you. That's one of the most important and one of the most beautiful things possible. If they take that freedom away, then we have nothing. Then we have nothing. And we can't stand for that. Don't sit for it. Don't kneel for it. Don't bow for it. Don't. That's it. That's all I got. Wish I had a happier message on that one, but I don't, folks. I don't. I'm sorry. So, on that note, folks, thank you very much for allowing me to come back into your homes, into your houses, into your kitchen, living room. Not that I was breaking into your house, but just allowing me to flow through the air or in your ear, or in your earbuds, or on the screen, what have you. And thank you. I will be back next week live, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, I will have a guest. I will have M Shy S Dash here, and she will be telling us all about fumes. And hopefully, we can talk some comic books. We can talk some anime, because I really enjoy speaking to her. She's definitely probably one of my most chaotic guests on the show, and I love that energy because I'm trying to be so rigid. So it made me feel better. So there it is. So, folks, that's our show. Thank you so very much for being here. I truly appreciate it. You all have a very good evening, and I will see you all later. All right. Bye.